help anybody, to squash that. So it's one of those weird things in trauma surgery, especially in the intensive care unit, where the doctors and the nurses are spending almost as much time taking care of the family as they are the patients, who are oftentimes not with it or completely unconscious, And so it's a very delicate balance to do this job. And so I end up alone with them for a minute in this consultation room, and I say to them, I want you to understand, I don't know if she'll make it through night, and I'm going through all these 5 injuries and how each one of them are trying to take her life, like, as we speak. And I said, she's 16. I mean, as best I can tell, she's a healthy, fit 16-year-old. And if anybody could beat it, that would be it. They're still hysterical. They're sobbing. That was the closest thing I could give them to any kind of hope. And so I'm like, but I got to get back in there. She's real critical. And so I stand up to leave, and I'm walking to the door, and all of a sudden, sobbing stops. And it's like everything calmed down. And the mama says, she's going to be okay. And my hand's on the door, and I stop, and I turn back around, and I said, ma'am, what? And she said, she's going to be okay. Her name is Savannah. And she kind of points at me. Your patient Doe is Savannah. And I look down, and I'm wearing the appropriate scrub top for that hospital.
Where am I
going?
But
for whatever reason, and I think it's the first time it ever happened, I was wearing the inappropriate bottoms. My scrub bottoms were from my medical school, and I had done my clinical rotations in Savannah, Georgia. So Savannah was written across my ass. And that was just what they needed, that little tiny bit of encouragement. And if my ass can bring hope to the people, I'm here to help. What can I say? So anyway, I was grateful that they had some shred of hope, but I walked out of there and I was like, that was funny. But oh my gosh, this girl's still dying. So I rushed back in there, and it was just, I never left her bedside, and she did make it through the night. But then every day it was like that. There was, it was a constant battle to keep her alive. And I'd go in there and I'd be like, hey, Savannah, it's Dr. T. She's unconscious, but I'm still talking to her. And we had to do a lot of painful procedures on her during that time. We had chest tubes put in, chest tubes out. Those chest tubes are very large. They're like garden hose sized tubes that go in between your ribs to drain fluid, air, and blood from around the lungs so the lungs can work better. And she had to have those procedures multiple times. I put in multiple central lines, which are like really large IVs that go in your neck. You had to give her a tracheotomy, which is a breathing tube through the neck as opposed to through the mouth. And I tried to warn her before I did anything to her. And just continued to take care of her, and we made it through day by day, but still, you knew that there were going to come complications from all these. Like, these were too horrible of an injury to get away with just, oh, you're healed, so it was just like, when is the next complication coming? When is the next fight for her life coming? And even at that, we were like, even if we get her through this, we don't know if one day she's going to
Good morning.
wake up at all. And if she does, with that brain injury,
I'll be back.
Will she catatonic? Will she be in a regret state? Will she just have some deficits? We had no idea. But I took her. Struggling and still didn't know what I wanted to do in my personal life. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my career. And, and with surgery, the stresses are as much mental as they are just the time. It's not just the physical tiredness and the time, but, I'm the type of person, I took my work home with me a lot, so I would worry about the patients and the cases even when I was off duty. And so it was a very difficult time, and I just felt like I was really just kind of limping along during that time. So about a year after Savannah's surgery, about that, not surgery, but after her accident that she had, I was back in that same intensive care unit again, and and I'm working on all these patients. And one day I'm talking to this nurse, and in that notice, I talk a little loud. Wow. That's just normal. And so I'm talking to this nurse across the way, and this girl approaches me, and she's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey," and yeah, I don't know who she is. And she lowers her shirt a little bit in the front to show me a tracheotomy scar. And just about the time I realized who she is, she says, "It's me, Savannah." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." She looked great. She was healthy, and she was talking to me, and she only had one class to make up so she could graduate with her fellow, high schoolers. And she was so excited. And it was so much better than
I'll be back.
ever thought that she would be. After all that she had been through and all those injuries she had.
All right, I got to use the phone for. Are you guys still here? I can't even tell. I can find. Actually, I'm going to end this and come back. do this proper without having to restart or screwing up the stream. See you in a few minutes.